Hello, this is your warm up for the day. Take a couple of minutes and find the image for this rule. Okay, today we are going to be talking about reflections, which is flipping a figure. Okay, think about a reflection in a mirror. You see the things back, but it's flipped, right? So we're going to be determining the pre-images. We are going to be writing algebraic rules. We are going to be able to determine what type of reflection they are. Okay. This is something I would take a picture of, screenshot it, write it down into your notes. These are going to be things that you are going to want to reference in the next few weeks as we finish transformations. These are the rules for writing your rules for reflections every single time. So this is the formulas that you would use for it. So I would take a couple of minutes and make sure you have these into your notes. You're going to need them for your proficiencies. Okay, so we are going to start by talking about a reflection about the y-axis, and I am going to pull up my other screen here so that you can kind of see this. If we have this figure here, this right here is our y-axis, okay? We are cutting it right there. So basically what we're saying is if we were to fold it in half along that y-axis, that those two figures would line up exactly. Okay, so a reflection about the y-axis means that we are reflecting and folding it this direction. Okay. The next one we're talking about is the x-axis. So the x-axis for us, again, is going to be going this direction. Okay, this is the x-axis. So if you are unsure about the x and the y-axis, you need to get this figured out. But so x-axis, again, means we're going to fold it on top of each other. And now we have a reflection over the x-axis. Okay. The next one is over the y equals x line. So if you remember back to Algebra 1 when we did graphing, okay, this line right here is y equals x. And so we are just saying that we're folding over that line to get this reflection. Okay, and the last one we're going to talk about is the y equals negative x line, which is the same as y equals x, just going in a negative direction. And again, we're folding to get that reflection. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of practice on this right now. And the easiest way we can do this is by using our formulas that were in that formula reflection sheet that I showed you guys at the beginning of this lesson, this one right here. This is going to make it be the easiest for you. Notice it says reflection over the x, reflection over the y, reflection over y equals x, y equals negative x, and it tells you exactly what you're doing with each point. So there shouldn't be a lot of guesswork in this. It should be fairly straightforward for you. Okay, so I actually am going to make a little bit of a chart that makes this be a little bit easier. Okay, just kind of to organize how we're going to walk through this. Okay, so the first thing I did was find what points A, B, and C were based on this original triangle. Okay, and now we're going to change it based on the reflection over the x-axis, y-axis, y equals x, and y equals negative x. Okay, so if I go back to my rules, okay, it tells me that the x-axis changes my points to be the same x and a negative y. So same x, negative y. And I'm just going to write that right here. Same x, negative y. So that means that my A point now is going to be 1, negative 1, same x, negative y. My B point right now is going to be 1, negative 5, again, same x, negative y. And my new C point is going to be 5, negative 2. Notice I wrote all of my new points with that prime so that we can show that that is going to be the image. So now we're going to do the same thing for the y-axis. So if we look at our rule here, it says our xy turns into a negative x and y. So negative x, y is what we're doing. So a is going to be a negative 1 and y stays 1, negative x and y. B is going to be a negative 1 and y stays the same. And C is going to be a negative 5 and 2 stays the same. Okay, so now we're going to go to our rule for y equals x. And it says for all of our points, we're going to switch them. Our y is going to become x. Our x is going to become y. So now we're going to have yx. So the nice part about this first one is 1 and 1 is going to stay the same. B is going to now become 5, 1. We flipped them. And C is now going to become 2, 5. Okay, that's because we are taking our x's and they now become y and vice versa. Okay, and then the last one is y equals negative x. And it shows you that we're going to take whatever we did for y equals x and now they're both going to be negative. Okay, so basically that means that this is going to be a negative 1, negative 1, a negative 5, negative 1, and a negative 2, negative 5. Okay, and that is how you use this formula sheet to be able to find your rules. Okay, so now I'm going to have you do a little bit of practice just to kind of see if you can recognize the reflection. So what is the reflection shown here? What is the reflection shown here? What is the reflection shown here? So now I'm going to have you practice writing the rules. So again, we're going to be using our formula sheet and you're going to be taking triangle DEF and you're going to reflect the figure over the x-axis, the y-axis, and y equals x. And you're going to determine what the new points are. Okay, remember back to the example we went through where I did that chart and used that chart. That might be something that is a good idea for you to do for this. Okay, so now you guys are going to go and practice reflections. You're going to go to quizzes. You have a 10-question assignment. And again, make sure you're getting a 70% in order for it to count. Okay, make sure you're asking for help. If you have any questions, reach out to me so that we can work through this. But really, I can't emphasize enough making sure that you're paying attention to the rules and those formulas for those rules. Thank you.